Domain and range. First of all, we need to ask what is domain and range. Well, the domain is basically what values we can put in. So domain is equal to what values we put in. And I'll show you on a graph in a second to really put that in, what values we put in. And this is usually x. Range is all the values that can come out. And that's usually y. Okay? Simple. So I'll give you an example now. So example 1, to show you how to use all these. First we need our little graph, because that makes things much easier to understand. And then I'm going to label it, because we need to always label our graph. I usually forget, but got my memory cap on today. So example 1, go y equals, let's say, 2x plus 5. Okay? So let's figure out where that is. Let's say that's about 5. I'm going to draw that graph. 5, it's got a gradient of 2, so it's going to be kind of steepish. What will this point be? So this is 5. This point will be, well, if we take the 5, if y is 0, that's why y is 0. We take the 5 out, it becomes minus 5 equals 2x. Then we go minus 5 divided by 2 equals x. So this would be minus 2.5. 5 and 2, and then we can draw a line through these points. So my question is, what value of x can we put into this? Well, look at the graph, we can put any value of x. Remember, x is just whatever this horizontal thing. Like, this will go on forever. So we could choose any value of x we like. It could be out here, it could be out here, and it'd give us a y up there. Okay, so domain and range for this. Domain plus range equals everything right now. But we can change this graph to make it a little more complicated. So I'm going to remove some parts of the graph now, so that we're only left with a certain section from here to here. Okay, so let's pretend this is at, let's make that 3, and let's make that 6. So this is when x equals 3, because it looks about 3. That's 2.5, that's about 3. We put that in, I'll just do the math for you now, but it gives you 11 and 6. 6 times 2 plus 5 is 12, plus 5 is 17. Okay? So that's what we have. Only that part. Now I want to ask you, what's the domain and range? Remove other sections. To only 3, 11, 6, 17. Now what's the range now? The range now is, the domain now is, if we drop this down to the x-axis, because remember the domain is whatever the x is, or however horizontally we go. We know we're going between 3 and 6. So if I want to write this, domain equals 3 to 6. So how else would we write that? Oh, well, I'll go to range now. And the range would be, if we drop it across here, be between 11 and 17. Okay? So then it would be 11 to 17. Making sense so far? Good. The way to write this is like this. You can write it like this. That's one way. That says it's between 3 and 6. So if we were to do the same thing to the range, what would it be? It would be between 11 and 17. So you have to note that we put the smaller number first. Like I could put 6 and 3, but that doesn't make sense, because the way this works is, here's the smaller number, it can go up to the bigger number. Now another way to write this is, we know that x is between 3 and 6. Okay? It's not an equals or, that's an or. Okay, x is between 3 and 6, or y is between 11 and 17. Okay, so these are a few different ways to write it. So I'll give you a few more examples now. Example 2. And I better speed this up. This video is taking longer than I expected. So let's try y equals 3x. And I'm going to mix things up by not using a ruler. Exciting. So our graph would go like this. Now, this time I want to take only between 1, 3 and let's say 3, 9. Now, note that we'll try and do the domain and range again. So domain is 1, x the first value, to 3. Range is the y value, 3 to 9. But there's something different about this one. If you look, this is an open circle, this is a closed circle. What does that mean? Well, the closed circle means it includes 1. Includes 1. As in we actually get the value of 1. But over here, it means it gets everything all the way up to it, but it doesn't actually hit that point. It's everything except it doesn't reach 3. Everything up, not includes. I'm just going to go not includes. Okay? So we need to keep that in mind. So that would be, so 1 to 3. 1, x would be greater or equal to 1, but less than 3. Note there's no equals there. And we're looking at y, be 3 to 9. 3 is less than or equal to y, but it's less than 9 because it's not included. It's an open circle. And make sure we have this little open circle here. Okay? And the other way to write it is 1, 3 with a circular bracket. That means not includes. This means includes. Okay? Same down here. 3 to 9. Okay, so I'm going to split this video because this is already too long. It's about 7 minutes. I don't think anyone has an attention span longer than that, or very few people do. So next video I'll show you how all the different ways, all the different types, because these are just 2 ways of expressing the domain and range. I'll show you the third way as well.